Welcome to Blanc Watchdogs podcast. Your host, Lonnie Adkins.
And Monica Shapiro.
And, wow, lots to talk about today after that public display of community affection from the board.
This week's episode, Chief Jent Part 2.
Oh, yes.
Part 1 is still in the editing bay, the Monica Shapiro editing bay. It's a doozy, but it takes a long time for this old broad to edit a podcast. So, you know, it'll be there. It'll be a matter of public record that we taped that thing before the meeting happened. This is our post-meeting
So what do we got,
episode.
Monica?
Let's talk about the meeting.
Let's
talk about the meeting, Lonnie.
Oh, what a train wreck.
One thing we observed was the thug-like behavior of the current regime. Was that not?
Regime, good word, absolutely. You know, I'd like to break down just a couple parts of it. Let's dissect a couple things. So I'll just start firing off a couple observations. So I enjoyed being there to just watch. Obviously, I was there of support of the Chief Jent.
And the podcast. We were being watchdogs, Lonnie.
We were being watchdogs.
We saw everything, folks.
And oh boy, did we get some content. Sometimes you just, and like you said, I keep on going back to what you said in an earlier episode about how they do this right out in the open.
Yeah.
Folks, you can't make this crap up.
That's right.
I mean, it's just right there.
It's actually so entertaining.
So there was a lady that got up and spoke, and she said, it wasn't Anna Matson, it was another lady, I think one of the first ladies that spoke.
Carrie was her name, I
Carrie,
believe.
in support of the chief, and she was talking about, Dennis, and, he was fired, and some of this, some of that.
Yes.
And Dennis was over there laughing and smiling and shaking his head, and, this isn't normal, and I'll tell you why. For one,
I think that was him trying to appear unruffled by what was happening.
But still, though, you should sit there kind of stoic and not have. He should not have any types of interaction like that with the public. He's not an elected official. It came off to me as arrogant and how dare you? And then to make it worse, you get through that part, and then at some point there was some clapping, some applause for Chief Jent.
Wait, let me discuss.
I know you got a good one there.
I want to get in. That outburst of applause for Chief Jent was a turning point. There were two turning points in that meeting where, somebody that really cared about the community could have shifted everything. A good leader in Supervisor Bennett could have shifted everything in their favor and made it great. There were 2 points. One was that outpouring of heartfelt applause for Chief Jent. You know what that was? That was us all applauding him for the events of September 28th. That was us saying, you stood up for us there, inadequate staffing or no, you did your best and thank you. And we never had a chance as a community to say that to him.
Good point.
There was one of the firefighters from the city sent me this thing that was going around their ranks. The city of Grand Blanc, who sent support to that, they had an appreciation day for their heroes. Davison, I think, had an appreciation. It was one other municipality appreciation day when the community could come and stand up and give them a standing ovation led by the supervisor. We never had an occasion like that. So the way that posting went, firefighters were kind of jokingly sending around, was they showed a picture of this laudatory fire chief ceremony at one, and a picture of this one, and then it showed Grand Blanc Township.
Empty chairs.
Yes.
Well.
And so this was our chance.
So there was
in this adversarial situation where they had their backs up. At that moment, he too could have said, "Yes, I agree. Yay, Chief Jent. We support you."
So people broke out into.
But instead, he's saying, "Stop clapping.
Well,
if there's any more clapping,
I'll stop the meeting.
I'll stop the meeting."
Whoa, okay, stop the meeting then. You're not going to get anything done. But Monica, you're right though, because what that applause was. See, this board takes everything as a negative unless you're right on board with them with everything they do. Because they take it just so personal. It's so weird.
All they heard was that we were saying boo to them for what they were trying to do.
But you're right, though. You hit the nail on the head with this was you know, a
opportunity.
community that's still in mourning, a community that's trying to heal, that's trying to find their voice, trying to find their steps again. And this was some pent-up emotion that just erupted.
Yeah.
Right? It was just a release of pent-up emotion.
And it felt great to cheer this guy.
And it felt great. And it was nothing about this board, but once again, they make it all about them.
And trying to keep a lid on this, serious proceedings.
And what was that about Scott's wife jumping up and spinning around
to
and
scold us?
to scold the audience? Like, that's so bizarre to me.
He's pounding the gavel. He's pounding the gavel and saying, "I will not have this. I will not have this."
But you know what?
And the audience like gets better. And that wonderful woman that was the former Board of Ed secretary.
Yes.
She stood up and she was like, "Wow, yes, standing ovation." She was just an enthusiastic person who believed in how the school board handled things as opposed to how this board handled things.
But you know, we've talked before on other episodes about good government or government report card, and I can tell you so let's talk about the disappointment from I'm just a taxpayer now, just like you, just a citizen. I'm not elected, so my disappointment was really two things. One, sitting on that board before, I know what the power of each board member has. Their power is equal to that of Scott Bennett, okay?
That brings me to the other turning point of the meeting. There's a moment when they say, "Do we have approval on the agenda?" Remember the steps that led up to that meeting. It was announced, word got out that he had put the chief on administrative leave and that the board would be conducting a hearing to proceed to getting rid of him. And so, and it was put as routinely as it possibly could, but it was on the agenda. So everybody got a hold of that. They're gonna be there, they're gonna be voting, they're gonna hear us, and they're gonna be up against us. You know, there they are against. You always think against with these guys. Instead of, they will help us.
Right.
They will side with us. They will understand. They will come. They will do what we feel. No, they will stand behind this narrow man.
Yes.
And so leading up to it, we didn't get that. We didn't get that chance to speak to the board as a community and say, we weigh in on this and we want you to not fire this man. And they would have had to vote against their whole community in public or do the right thing and say, we hear you. Of course we hear you. Let's give this guy what he needs.
So my disappointment with that is each of those board members have equal power to Scott Bennett, to the supervisor, right? The supervisor's role is to lead the meeting, form the agenda.
Right. So listen, so he made the agenda. He announced that this was going to be, and then there was this huge uproar. And everybody was saying, come to the meeting, rah, rah, rah.
And then he says,
like, no.
He's been reinstated.
Yeah. And
which was false.
Very false.
At that point in time.
But what he didn't even say he's been reinstated. Over the weekend, all he did was take it off the agenda. Right,
correct.
So when the meeting happened, you knew that all you'd have was public comments that they would not be required to address because of the way the rules. And then they would do their other business, their routine business. And this whole thing was going to be what you said was going to happen in the original thing, which was they took it to
executive session.
Yes.
Closed door.
Yes.
God forbid we talk about it. Let's hide behind. I know these people well.
This silly procedure.
But I want to talk about what I would have thought a good board member would do. So I don't want to lose track. I know some people are starting to think. I know some people are saying, Sarah Hugo seems to have jumped out now and met with the fire board. But I do want to break this down a little bit. So Sarah Hugo could have done that 2 weeks ago.
I think it's Hugo.
Hugo.
No, say your name right. That's not nice.
I don't know. I've never heard anybody pronounce it, so I don't know. Have you ever heard it?
Yes, Mr. Hugo was our kid's...
Hugo?
Hugo was
Hugo.
His name.
Okay, Hugo. So...
her husband is a great science teacher.
So anyway, she could have met with the fire board weeks ago. So she comes out now. So I believe she comes out to do public comment. For one, I don't think she should have led public comment.
Well-
she's an elected. Yeah, they all have a right to speak
Yes,
too.
that's true.
But here's the thing: if you really want to exercise your rights, you could have done something else. So for one, I think they were trying to set the tone of the meeting. But second of all, being a board member, you have the right to do several things outside of the supervisor. And it all goes back to what I said. This consensus building to me is strange because there's never a disagreement on anything, which means that they're either afraid of Scott because there's no way everybody agrees on everything. Any one of those board members that night could have.
I mean, it's been demonstrated over and over
But-
again.
but
that
Monica-
they always vote aye. They go.
But a good board member that night had an opportunity. They could have said, I make a motion.
Do we approve? Does the board approve the
Right,
agenda?
so you
at
could
that moment?
have said, Mr. Supervisor, I do not approve the agenda.
Exactly.
Because there was either a last minute change or people came out to hear this, so unless we add this back. But other than
Yes,
that,
unless we add this back, I don't want.
but
I don't want to approve the.
somebody
agenda.
asked me the other day what I would have done different.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what I would have done. I would have, there's enough facts out there now that I could have made an informed decision. I would have made a motion at that meeting. I would have made a motion to reinstate Chief Jent.
Yes.
And I would have put an addendum to the motion for us to post a public meeting within 5 days to get together and address and research the
staffing
concerns
needs he
and the
has.
staffing level
The
of the
staffing
fire.
needs he has.
Immediately.
Right.
Get on it right away.
Right away.
Not 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about all the departments like Scott said.
Wait a second.
But then I would have put all the other board members on notice to do
Yes.
a roll call vote.
Right.
Roll
Right.
call their ass right there.
Right.
So you really know where everybody
Any
stands.
board member could have
Don't go
initiated
for
that.
executive session.
No.
No. You can do
Don't hide behind the stupid little rigmarole that Dennis has set up.
as a board member, you can make any motion you want.
Absolutely.
And
And
if
you
it
can
passes,
put whatever
it-
you want on the agenda.
Yes. And if it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you went on record of
Saying,
where you
I
really
did-
stand.
yes,
where you
yes,
stand.
Yes.
And they disappointed
and that was their
me on
moment.
that.
Not one of them.
They disappointed me on that.
Yeah, they just said they were like so glad they didn't have to talk to the people directly. It was bad enough having to sit there while they said their thing.
But I break this down even further. I know you're not as cynical as I am, but I'll look at it this way. The disappointment in Sarah not doing that, she got up and she spoke so much in
Tearily
favor
about
about firefighters, and you spoke for 1, 2, 3
Thank
minutes.
you, thank
You could
you.
have easily went back to your seat
and
and
said,
said,
and
for that
I
reason,
am-
Mr. Supervisor, I have no choice but to make a motion to
Yes.
reinstate this man. The community has spoken.
That's exactly.
And that would have saved her butt.
yeah, because she's on her way out, I think.
But I'm just saying, so now for the release to say, oh, Sarah met with the fire board after that meeting. You had a chance to really do the right thing.
Right there.
Now everything in my mind is suspect, kicking the can down the road, put
Yeah.
your money where your mouth is. She could have made that motion and put them all on record.
Yep, it would have been cool.
I would have said,
It
Mr.
would-
Supervisor.
That would have me been actually winning my bet.
Yeah, and then you could have
Instead, Lonnie, I kind of won my bet because
we both won. Yeah.
They did put him back, although the reinstatement was so brutishly handled.
But it
What they
addresses
made him
nothing though
do-
right now.
They had Chief Jent met with Dennis one-on-one, and Dennis said, look, you can either come back and remain on probation, which is not a power Dennis has on a department head. Stop it with the probation already.
Yep.
He's not a secretary in the office. It's not that kind of a personnel issue.
Correct.
It's a community, it's an appointed community official, basically.
Chief Jent should have not accepted it.
So anyway, he says to him, you have to accept further probation, 6 months more probation, or resign.
So it gives
so
them
listen-
6 more months to screw this guy.
If he wants. But the thing is, he can't screw him because it's an artificial construct. The whole community is alerted to the fact that they're saying that he can be fired at any time.
But what is the probation? Like, we got to go back to square one. Like, what is the punishment even for?
Right.
So,
Right, obviously.
we can say-
that certainly came out at this meeting.
But I'm saying, like, if Dennis, to me, that's, like, where could you stop? Could Dennis say, hey, police chief, if you don't hide one of my buddy's DUIs,
DUI.
I'm going to put you on probation because I have the power.
Right.
I mean, this isn't...
I have the power.
Look, in my mind, in that township...
And then you've got to get everybody to come and...
Department
But wait,
heads should
can we
be...
just say, why is it this power struggle?
But do we know what they voted for in executive session? Did they vote to punish this guy?
Well, listen.
We don't know that.
There was no... To go back to what happened, as of when Scott was saying he's scheduled to report for duty on Monday morning. Oh, as if they're allowing him,
right.
Which I find so awful. But anyway, he's scheduled to go back to his duties Monday morning. That's all he said. There had been at that point no agreement. What had happened was that the chief had sent a counter proposal to that ridiculous probation or resign. Like, accept some punishment from me or resign is what Dennis was doing. I just
These are horrible
that.
people to work for.
I despise that.
It's amazing
But you
they
know
have
what?
any employees at all, tell you the truth. More.
Let's get into the thug-like behavior.
So you got injured at the meeting.
I did. I actually had a bruise that lasted.
And that was unbelievable what had happened in the meeting. So here we are. We're toward the back of the room. You've got Scott's wife and one of her henchmen next to her. They're clearly the gruesome twosome because whenever anybody would clap or say anything,
turn around and glare.
they would, either they would stand up and turn around and she'd have her hand on her hips and glare at everybody.
Yes.
And,
The enforcers.
Very
the
bizarre.
board's enforcers.
Bizarre behavior. But it's kind of like, to me, it really tells me, Lonnie, Monica, stay on track.
Right.
Because we're just two people doing a little podcast, but they're so threatened by us. I don't know anybody else in the community.
There they go. One thing they didn't like with me in the back of the room was I couldn't help smiling because it was nice to see Dennis getting some public feedback. It's all like, shh,
Much
Dennis
needed.
is evil. Dennis is Dennis is the problem. Whisper, whisper, whisper. No one can say that aloud. Well, guess what? Person after person got up and said it aloud at that meeting, and it was a joy to see.
Well, you can just read all the comments on Facebook. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the community has finally figured out who's really the elected leader. Yeah, well, we'll say Scott and Dennis both need to go, but I mean, people now know where the problems are starting.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to get into that. I just one thing that I guess this will come up when we talk budget, because an interesting thing that you said last time was that they were going to connect it up to a bunch of other stuff. Well, in this instance, they sandwiched in the budget, the budget presentation. You were right. A big elaborate meeting was planned that they thought would take away from all that public comment, and the Chief Jent thing was going to go away. It's been rough on us here on the board to face this, but we pulled through together, guys. The team came through together. The community was out to lynch us, but we survived. That's the tone of the government to its people in this township.
It's really thuggish. I mean, you hit it.
And here's the thuggish part. One of these henchmen who couldn't stand it that I had such as my father used to call it, a shit-eating grin on my face. This one woman, a larger woman than Mrs. Bennett, got to her feet, came to the back. You can see it on the tape, but you can't see what happened then. So I'm standing there, and I figured, I don't know, she went to the bathroom. So she has to walk out behind me. So somebody shoves into me, and I thought, oh boy, I guess I must have been closer to the wall than I thought, and somebody, is mad that I'm blocking their actual space. And I sort of went, and then she did it again, hard, so I could make no mistake. She was hitting me.
Right. Not an accident. Correct.
And I went down almost. I kind of staggered, and people helped me up, and there was a little commotion in the back, but you can't, alas, the tape didn't catch it. But it was shocking to me, and so many of my friends have said, I would have told her, who are you?
It makes you wonder why these couple of people are so crazy
Well, so that
about what
I got
we're doing.
physical violence, and I was surprised by it. I was just like, oh, that can't be happening, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And it was and then Lonnie's been, as he says, poking the bear on Grand Blanc Uncensored. He says, I'm back, I'm poking the bear. And so he's been rabble rousing. And one of these, Scott and Dennis have these women that come out and do battle with anyone who says anything negative about them. And one of them was really getting into it with Lonnie. At what juncture did the motorcycle gang get mad at you? Calls her, her name is McCready, and he calls her McNasty.
McNasty, yes.
So you must be friends with McNasty, he says.
Yeah, so
they called him up and said, you've been disrespecting our woman. We're with the Devil's Disciples Outlaw Motorcycle Gang.
So so obviously they're these people, these few people that, and I even question if they're from the community. I doubt it, but
I think it's a Flint-based thing.
Yeah, so we get this. So we've really scraped the barrel here in terms of they're so desperate to cling to power that they've invited an element into the community as their pit bulls against any detractors or activists that would dare question them.
Yes.
And I just keep asking to myself, I keep saying it over and over in my head, and I want anybody listening, just ask yourself, is this normal? This isn't normal. This isn't Washington, D.C. This is Grand Blanc, Michigan. We're not elected. And for people to do... Now they're crossing into physical altercations.
And threats.
That is a whole new level.
Threats of violence.
Right,
One of these people called and threatened Lonnie.
So you can debate all you want.
Two of these people called.
Yeah, so you can debate all you want. That's normal. That's normal. That's a good functioning society, we'll call it.
But when you say is it normal, Lonnie?
At this level for Grand Blanc?
Not for... It does seem to be normal in some other communities. It's certainly normal in Flint. It seems to be somewhat normal in Davison. They had that whole weird thing with that guy making the calls.
But they're not going to shut me up. And I know they won't shut you up.
No.
So you're going to have to do a little better than what you're doing. Yeah. And
we've got lots of ammunition now.
Lots of
ammunition. So many people spoke at that meeting.
But
so many people were disappointed by what they did.
As soon as you take it to a level of being physical or threatening, I don't know if you realize it yet, and I think maybe you are at that level because maybe you started to realize it. You lost. Yeah. You've lost.
That's true.
So keep coming at us, and we're going to keep on laying out the facts. What we're saying is, Monica keeps saying, this is just out in the open. This isn't a podcast of, let's just say, what ifs. This is right out in the open.
Brings me back to will Chief Jent stay if it gets worse and worse, if they never listen to him, if they don't give him what he wants, if it's terrible there, will he stay? Because one of the things you said in the last one was that Scott will say, if we keep challenging the superintendent on everything
he's going to leave.
We won't have a superintendent.
We won't have a superintendent, and this is the greatest guy since,
Yeah. I mean, we can't risk losing the superintendent.
No.
But we can risk losing this Jent guy?
Yes.
We can risk losing him?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Because this guy, here's what else. I'll leave this in by closing. I think what happened with this Chief Jent, and I think the butting of the heads is small town USA meets big town chief. Chief Jent outsmarted Dennis and Scott.
Yes.
And they don't like it.
Oh, that's interesting.
They wanted a guy that was going to come in and say, I am so glad to just be here. I'm going to be an extension of the political wing of this township.
I need help getting this stuff across to the residents. You guys are good.
Yes.
Please tell me what to say.
This big-time chief meets small-time, small-minded superintendent, supervisor of Grand Blanc.
Yes.
He brings with him a whole different political animal, a way of operating big city.
And surprise, Dennis and Scott, doing right by your employees, doing right by your people, and doing right by your community brings power. the
Yes.
best kind of power.
Right.
They are snarling in a corner, trying to protect their power over people.
Yes.
And Jent is doing something where he has the backing of all the people.
And
he did it ethically. He didn't have to do some sneaky thing that's better than their sneaky thing. He just did the right thing.
You know, it's just
and
like,
the right thing is better than the wrong thing.
yeah, it's just like, somebody that's been, a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, right? And then a small business, hires that person, right? Brings them in, wants some new ideas. Sometimes, right?
It backfires.
Sometimes it backfires, and sometimes you realize, well, wait a minute. This guy is exposing the problems,
Yes.
right? He didn't fall in line or get in line.
He said, let's fix this.
Let's
and he went
fix
a
it.
long way towards fixing
I'm
some
a
of the
problem
problems.
solver. I come from a big department, a big community. I know how to solve these things.
Yes.
So he outsmarted Dennis and Scott.
All right, the next episode in the Shapiro Editing Bay is the budget. It's our take on the presentation that followed the outcry over Chief Jent. Stay tuned. It's a good episode. And also, we've got a little mini episode about the bet that we have going to see what happens at Tuesday night's meeting. Veterans Day, First Responders Day, followed by Veterans Day, which is also my 30th wedding anniversary, so I will not be at that meeting, but I will certainly watch it on television and check out who wins our bet.